you know. So
In '95, you didn't waste any time. You got busy on Onyx's sophomore albums. I'm gonna go down and point out some highlights of your career as far as production wise, and if you can give me a best memory of the session. Onyx's sophomore album, All We Got Is Us. What's the best memory from producing for that album?
um, I would say last days, making last days. You know, we were all living together in New Jersey and Edgewater, New Jersey, right over the George Washington Bridge. We was living all together, and like Fred was like, "Yo, I got these two records, man. Make a beat with it." I was like, "All right, being that I was, making a lot of the beats for the second album. We were all like pitching in and how we wanted it to sound or whatever the case may be. They gave me an opportunity to help shape mold their sound with them on that second album, and just putting the last days beat together. I didn't really think it was gonna be much of anything, it wasn't like Shiloh's production, it was like some hard drums. Drums are dope, and I could see what Fred was trying to, do. So I wound up helping him loop that up, wound up, sequencing it, getting it to where, we had something, and then Sonny Caesar comes, he adds a little stab. He's like, yo, you should put I was like, okay, so we added that, and then we had something, you know what I mean? We had something, and then, I was supposed to rhyme on it with them, but I really, at that time, I didn't want like to get my identity all caught up with the Onyx thing. It was like, I already been with them for like a year at that time, a year and change, and we was trying to figure out how they were going to sign me, and it's like a lot of politics at that time. But with Last Days, it wound up getting recorded. We wound up, you know, finishing up the album. Um, Songs like Punk Motherfuckers, Better Off Dead. Um, I did those as well. We were just, riding out whatever we felt that was hard body. We was trying to, build the Mad Face empire on some like, well, we ain't with Shiloh no more. Let's take it on some official nasty niggas. You know what I mean? USG, United States Ghetto. So it was a whole lot of, a whole lot of kind of reinventing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They didn't want to wind up like, other groups that after their first album, people ain't really checking for you no more. They just only on that first album.
Right.
So it was, it was a whole lot for them, and a lot of label politics with JMJ, which allowed the group to separate, and a lot of people just went their ways after the second album.
Okay. What about
That
PM?
was like the beginning of the end for me.
Okay. What about PMD? Business is business.
PMD Business is Business. Rough, Rugged, and Raw stands out. One record that I produced on PMD, thanks to Daz Effects. When I was on tour with them, Busta Rhymes, they was all on tour together. We wound up staying on the same bus, and I had my equipment with me, and I was playing beats in the back of the bus. And they was on a bus with me, like, yo, you made that? I was like, yeah. He was like, yo, we want PMD to hear that. I was like, oh, word. Tell him to come on the bus. He was on his own bus, and he was with Daz. So he comes on the bus, PMD. He hears the beat. He's like, yo, that's dope. I want that. Woo, woo, woo. I was like, all right, let's politic, whatever. Gave my number. When we got off the road, he hit me, and then we got into the studio, recorded it. You know what I mean? And then we handled the business. Wound up getting him another $1 million deal with Relativity Records at that time, off of that one record that I produced for him. And he
Wow.
thanks me to the day for that. This was after EPMD broke up.
Okay.
and kind of like, you know, came and gave him one of the right records that he needed. Relativity put up $1 million. Um, he was back in effect, basically doing business back on solo, and I guess him and Eric was patching up things. You know what I mean? So, but that's how that record happened because of Daz Effects, and then I wound up working with Daz Effects as well on their last album on East West Generation Effects as
Right.
well. So
Right.
that wound up all coming to fruition. It was like one thing led to another. You know what I mean? I did that with PMD, and then they, was like, yo, let's let this dude produce and ghostwrite for us. So I produced and I ghostwrit on that Generation Effects album. You know what I mean? Shout to Drazy, shout to School. Good brothers, man. Good brothers that opened their gates to me and allowed me to work with them. I'm always appreciative of that, of those individuals allowing me to shine with my talent. You know
And
what I mean?
you changed your name to Agallah, got Rookie Monster.
AG Allah, AG Allah.
AG.
Really is AG Allah. Allah, God, arm, leg, arm, head. You
AG.
know what I mean? Peace to the gods, you know what I'm saying? And
What what brought on
that's just my 5% nation.
what
5% nation
what brought
attribute.
what brought on the name change?
Well, my last name is Aguilar. Um, I felt like, where I'm from, I have to stay true to my roots and, my creed and and what I been here, what's my purpose. And I felt like Adolf, when I went to Germany, um, doing songs and tours in Germany, I was getting a lot of bad press because of the name related to Adolf Hitler. And, became a lot of bad publicity on my name. One day I got stormed by a lot of journalists asking me why in Germany. I was like, I'm not with none of that. I got it all wrong. The name is Adolf. You seen a picture of me with my mustache was like low. You know what I mean? I used to keep my mustache mad low, so they thought I was on some Hitler. Like I was like, nah, I don't. I'm not against. I'm not against any race, anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like, y'all want to try to play me out on that out here. So they, try to press up a bad article, and then I wound up like saying, you know what? Time for for me. I felt like it was time for reinvention. You know what I mean? It was time to reinvent myself. I was already, been deep in 5% Nation of Islam and been deep on my, building with the gods and, handling um certain issues, you know what I'm saying? Using universal mathematics and using the supreme alphabet. And I felt like at that time I was like, well, what am I in this for? How am I getting across for myself personal reasons? You know what I mean? And what am I showing forth by being this Adolf assassin guy?
Right.
And I felt like let me just flip the whole script on him. I went to Agallah. I felt like Agallah was my true being, my true calling. You know what I mean? And I just ran with it. You know what I mean? Like that's the name that people been calling me in my neighborhood for years, Agallah. Ag, what up? You know what I mean? So I just felt like I ran with what my neighborhood been calling me, and it feels like felt like it was right at home with me. You know what I'm saying? Like let me just call myself that. And then
Right.
the homie was like, you should call yourself Agallah. I was like, word. And the homie was like, word, fam. Like that's it. So I was like, all right. Went with that. You know what I mean? That's how I became Aguilar. Like, you know what I mean? But it is my real name. My name is Angel Lewis Aguilar. It's my government name. But
So
you know what I mean? You do the knowledge, take the A, which is Allah, G is God, A, Allah, leg, arm, head. You know what I mean? You break it down, you know what I mean? If you know the supreme alphabet, you know what I mean? It allowed me to add on.
you also helped form Purple City Entertainment. What was that experience like?
Um, that wasn't a dream of mine. It just kind of happened. Um, I basically, was cool with a dude, God bless the dead, named D. W. from the Bronx. And, I was looking for some haze one day, and he had it. And I was like, all right, we became good friends. And then he said, yo, man, one day he came to my spot in the Bronx where I used to live at. And I was playing some of my music, I wasn't even trying to show it to him. It was just playing in the background type. He's like, yo, who that? I was like, oh, that's me, fam. You know what I mean? I was just, in the crib blowing with him out, in my living room. He was like, yo, that sound dope, fam. Yo, you should come down to Harlem and meet up with, Shice, meet my homie Shice or whatever. Jim Jones be over there, whatever. Joel's and Cam, whatever. So I was like, all right, I came down, I seen them out, they were there at Shice crib. Shice, basically everybody would be at Shice crib blowing or whatever. So we was over there. I got to meet Shice. And at first I wasn't even on no rap thing, I wasn't even about no rap thing. I was really strictly about like trying to find some weed. Like, yo, who got it? Where that kill at? Y'all got it? And that's how I basically met them. Wasn't on no strength of rap. It was strong. Like I said, I was looking for weed. And kind of find out they heard my music. Whatever. They was like, yo, son, you nice. He was like, yo, what you doing? I was like, I'm just doing my own thing, man. You know what I mean? I ain't really, you know what I mean? I'm just like, you know what I mean? I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, then my man was like, yo, we should form a group or something. He was like, Chase was, threw the bug in my ear. At first I was like, you know what I mean? I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Did all of that already. But then I wound up getting cool with Dubler. Me and him got cool. And then Shice seen the album was, solid. Shice seen me and D Dubler bomb was solid. So Shice, was like, yo, would you help me out, man? Make me a rapper. Like, because he ain't really rap like that. He dressed like he did, but he ain't really no rapper. He can't really write a 16 on his own. He ain't that type of individual. He ain't like he could bust a 16 off the head like to you. He's not that type of dude. He's just, somebody with the money. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that got a little bit of bread and somebody that, I would say, yeah, somebody that just, they got some bread, they got a look, they want to be on, but they not really, they don't have no skill whatsoever. They look like it. So anyway, he said, I got this other rapper, his name Un. I was like, oh, word? Okay, whatever, man. I want to, get in the studio, whatever. We could, get in the studio. We wound up just, getting on some songs with each other. It was like, yo, get on the song with him. I was like, all right. I didn't know what was going to make of it. But lo and behold, a mixtape got done. And then it was like, he pressed up these CDs for us. Chase pressed up CDs. I was like, all right, what are you going to do with these? He's like, yo, I'm going to get these out. I'm going to just give them out. You know what I mean? And lo and behold, we started making noise. But everybody thought we was part of Dipset. I wasn't signed to Dipset, nothing. I was just affiliated. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, it was like, one day we all went to go get tattoos. Everybody get their tattoo. You know what I mean? So I'm like, last one to get the tattoo is me. They like, yo, you ain't getting the bird? The Dipset bird?
Right.
I'm like, ain't nobody signed me, fam, for me to be putting no shit like that on my body. Y'all niggas ain't give me no 200, 300,000. Y'all niggas is crazy out here. Y'all niggas is bugging. Y'all niggas actually think I'm a tattoo the Dipset bird on me and y'all niggas ain't give me no money, man, fuck out of here. You feel me?
Right.
So that's when I knew niggas ain't have no real, they didn't want to see me on.
Right.
That's why I knew niggas ain't want to see me on right then and there. I was like, wait, y'all want me to get the bird so I could be a sucker for life with that bird on me? I ain't no bird ass nigga, man. You feel me?
Right.
So I wound up tatting propane, BCP, which did stand for Purple City.
Right.
It did stand for Purple City, but it don't stand for that no more. You feel me?
Right.
It don't stand for that no more. It stand for Propane Campaign Productions now.
No doubt. You also got to work with Rockstar Games on Grand Theft Auto 3. How did that come about?
All right. Stretch Armstrong hit me up. Famous, legendary Stretch Armstrong hit me up. My guy. He says, yo, you want some songs for a game and shit. Make a song. I'll put it on. The game. I ain't even played the game yet. I was like, what's the game? Can you tell me what it's about? He's like, I don't know. It's called Grand Theft Auto 3. Figure it out. Because, he's not no video game guy like that. He just DJ, do music and shit.
Right.
So I wound up going to the studio, and I was like, let me call Sean Price up. I called Sean up. I said, yo, I'm in the studio. Come through. I got a joint we can get on. I was like, hype. So I knew he was going to like the beat. I was like, what time you going to be here? He's like, 8 o'clock. I was like, I'll be there at 8 o'clock. He come with his son to the studio. He bring his son with him. I'm playing the beat. I'm like, yo, put your son on the track. Hey, get him on the track right there. Like, let your son get on the track on the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, just go in there with him and just, vibe out. And he spent the first 16 and, it became a classic, man.
Right.
Just became something magical right then and there. It was like I didn't even know it was happening. It was like, I was just as a brother around Sean. It was just so good to be around him, and it was just so good to have a friend like that, a brother like that. It was just, it was like if anybody had beef with me, Sean would knock your fucking head off. You know what I mean? Like anybody that would try to play games, knocking your fucking head off. You know what I mean? Straight clean off your shoulders type. You know what I mean? Like, don't ever dare play with Agallah. But since he's not here, I can't really say that no more because he's not here with us. But I carry that torch of knocking heads off. You know what I mean? If I gotta knock somebody's head off, I'm carrying that torch.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't care if it's whoever. You know what I mean? Whoever it is, got to, you know what I mean? They can't disrespect. You know what I mean? We ain't playing that. And we just basically, we were just brothers.
Right.
Like me and Pete was just on a different level. And then I introduced him to my cousin. Like guys, they got cool. Then and I had to leave New York. I had to survive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Couldn't stay in New York because things was just like, like the Purple City thing. There was no loyalty in that. Once I see no loyalty in that, I cut all ties with all them dudes. You know what I mean? And now, I don't, undoing his talk show thing or whatever. I don't knock him. I hope he win with it. So, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Pardon me for 1 second.
Yes.
1 second. Oh, can you get something for these? Hold on, my brother. Yeah, but can you get something for the burgers? You're done. Yeah. So yeah, man, that's just a lot of up, coming up with the same homies, from the same block, same neighborhood, same same area. You know, that's what me and Sean shared is Brownsville. We both in the same neighborhood.
Right.
You know, same friends that we grew up with. You know what I mean? To this day, I still got the same friends that I grew up with.
Right.
You know what I mean? Ain't changed, ain't switch up. You know, we just a different breed in Brownsville. We just a whole different kind of breed. Yep.
We got about
Bad, my brother.
5 minutes before we get out of here, but we could probably spend 5 hours alone on your day. Can you tell me when's the right time for Agallah to drop new music? How do you know when it's perfect to drop?
I mean, that's a good question because I mean, I dropped music. You know, I dropped a lot of music this year on the fact that slowed down a lot of artists. You know, I feel like if I ain't got nothing to talk about, I'm not going to drop nothing. You know, if it ain't something that I feel that's going to help my life out or help your life out, I'm not going to do anything. I have to find a medium of how my music is going to last in the times that we're in and how people is going to relate to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a girl. At the end of the day, I'm a man. You feel me? I don't listen to girl music. You know what I mean? I listen to man-made music. So, I mean, I love all kinds of music. Don't get me wrong, but I know, like, for my situation in my life, I know there's a certain music for that.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? There's a certain music for that. And I feel like, if society is hurting, if I see my fellow people hurting and they're not and they're not living great, and they're not doing well. They're going through a lot of pains in society. They're going through being homeless. These are the people I speak for. You know what I'm saying? Like I balled out. I was balling, but it was never always sweet. My life has never been always sweet. You know what I'm saying? It's always been hurdles to jump. You know what I mean? Like many hurdles got to get jumped. And I felt like those hurdles made me much stronger of an artist. Knowing that I don't have to like depend or rely on any entity to make music. You know what I mean? I don't have to like, some of these artists now they tied into contracts because they, entrusted their moves with somebody else and then wound up paying dearly.
Right.
Because I felt like, if you can't do everything yourself, you're gonna have to get somebody else to help you do it. And in this business, I felt like I did a lot of moves that I had to make. I had to make a lot of moves with certain individuals that helped me, like Rob Love, YZ, different people that have a long stay in this business. You know what I'm saying? I learned from them, and I was grateful to have those first beginnings. But then, at the end of the day, like I felt like I wound up having to learn from them and then knowing how to put out my own music. You know what I mean? Learning how to put out my own records, and Empire Distribution, shout out to Ghazi, shout out to Nima. They basically entrusted me, with a job of a label, to deliver project after project, and I've been doing that for the last 6. So it's been quite of a journey, a learning experience, and still, being independent is not like being major,
Right.
but you feel like it's good to feel like an owner. It's good to feel like you running something from something that you have built from the ground up, and nobody can take it from you.
Right.
You know how to move your intellectual property. You know how to, get placements. You know how to go shop your music to the right people. You know how to do the right things. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to like rely on somebody else to try to get on anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? Those days are over.
Right.
So, I drop whenever I feel like it. Like I just recorded like a new joint last night. That's a banger. And I was like, I got an album out now. Let me chill. Let me just chill out but I would have to like have a whole project of songs done. And, I would have to have a whole project of songs done and say, do these songs go together? You know, do they is that what you representing right now? Is that is that your outfit?
Right.
That you want the people to see? Is this your outfit? So I felt like the albums I dropped this year, "Fuck You," the album, "Aggravated," uh, "The Rona." Um, I dropped 3 albums this year. You know what I'm saying? Basically, and I dropped the instrumental CD as well. I'm working on a project with me and Sadat X right now. We have like a whole EP. We don't know what the name of it is yet, but we 4 songs deep and definitely sound dope. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? Because Dot's one of my favorite MCs.
Right.
He respect my skill. He respect my craftsmanship as a producer, as an MC. So it's definitely a beautiful thing, and I'm just glad that I was able to make something happen with him. And
Cool.
I got more stuff on the way as well, more projects. I'm gonna just keep dropping. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just keep dropping bangers.
Right.
More, you know what I mean? Stay dropping what the streets want to hear. Hopefully, I can get what I mean, get the next year, and we can get out of this whole
Right.
COVID craziness.
We got about 1 minute left. It says we're counting down. So I just want to take this time to thank you for everything you've done for the culture since day one.
Thank you very much.
I thank you for joining us this evening and giving us a history lesson for those who may have forgot. You've got a lengthy discography that needs to be acknowledged. We will definitely be on the lookout for everything you've got coming. If you need any help promoting anything, I'm going to be here for you. You want to come back on and let the people know what you got going on. At this time,
Definitely.
we got about 45 seconds. Can you shout out your social media to everybody?
Agallah Music on Instagram, Agallah the Dawn on Twitter, and you can check me out on Facebook, Agallah Dawn Bishop on Facebook. You know what I mean? I'm available, and as well, go to www.agallah.bandcamp.com for all merch, CDs. You know what I'm saying? Albums. We're gonna be doing some shows as soon as things start opening up again. So you know what I mean? Be on the lookout for that. Hip hop forever, baby. That's what we represent.
Appreciate that. 5 seconds. That's Agallah. I'm the journalist. Salute. Thank you so much.
Shout out to the journalists.